The Pac-12 made some news this morning as they have added 4 new teams to the conference that was completely decimated by conference realignment this offseason. Oregon State and Washington State were the only 2 teams that stayed loyal to the Pac-12, and the Pac-12 was looking to add new teams and create new rivalries. And today, they have added Boise State, Colorado State, Fresno State, and San Diego State to the conference beginning in the 2026 season. What are some other teams that the Pac-12 could look to add, and what are some sleeper teams that could be called up? That's kind of what we're going to be going over in today's video. But hey guys, if you guys are new to the channel, consider hitting that like and subscribe button. Also, be sure to check out my Patreon, where for $5 a month, you guys will get exclusive access to my draft guide, player evaluations, interviews, and much more. But let's talk about the significance of the Pac-12 adding these new teams. And I think this is great for the conference. The Pac-12 looked completely dead after Washington and Oregon, Utah, Colorado, Arizona State, Stanford, and Cal. Pretty much the entire conference leaving for one of the Power 4 teams, and this team needed to make moves. I love going to the Mountain West and taking 4 of the biggest teams. Boise State is by far the best team in that conference. San Diego State has been sneaky competitive, as has Fresno State, and Colorado State's got a really nice fan base over there, so they all make sense. But one thing that I think all these programs have in common, they're all West Coast schools, which I think do benefit the West Coast teams potentially getting put into the Pac-12. We all remember Pac-12 After Dark. I think they are going to target these big schools out west rather than looking east. When you look at kind of some of the top names that have been mentioned to be thrown into this Pac-12, I've seen USF, I've seen Texas State, I've seen UTSA. And while I like some of those ideas, I think the Pac-12 are going to favor teams in the West Coast, which is kind of what leads us to our first team. And it's a bit of a sleeper here, and it's kind of a 2-for-1. I think that the Pac-12 should be all in on adding both North Dakota State and South Dakota State. Both of these schools have been at the top of their respective conferences in the FCS for a number of years. Both the Jackrabbits and Bison always play FBS competition, and when they do, they're a sneaky competitive team, and we saw it this season. Both of them have the pieces in place to win. They've got great culture there, and they have dominated the FCS level for a number of years now. I think bringing them up to the Pac-12 would be a massive boost for this conference. Those teams get to play some of the top competition. They can contend for college football playoff berths. And then when you look at the case of the conference, you're getting really good competition from teams that are going to play hard week in and week out. They always have good defenses. They always have good run games. And I think that's what this conference is going to want. They want these scrappy teams rather than just these college football powerhouses. And I think bringing in both South Dakota State and North Dakota State would be massive additions for the Pac-12 and could really help boost this conference in terms of ratings. The big team that everyone's mentioning that I think makes all the sense in the world are the UNLV Rebels. UNLV is a program that is on the rise right now. They made a bowl game last year for the first time in well over a decade, and under head coach Barry Odom, this is a team that has really looked solid. They're 2-0 so far in the 2024 season in the Mountain West, and many people view them as the favorite to win the conference. This is a really solid football team that's got a good run game, and they play in one of the biggest markets in all of America, in Las Vegas. This is a team that just makes all the sense in the world, and it's honestly a bit of a surprise that the Pac-12 didn't add them in this first wave of additions from the Mountain West, because UNLV is viewed as one of the top programs in this conference, and I think it makes all the sense in the world. You get a big market team, a team that's going to instantly contend for the Pac-12 championship. I think when it's all said and done, UNLV will most certainly be in the new Pac-12. And I think if you add 2 teams, you're already viewed as one of the big programs in the FBS in a legit conference. So I think adding UNLV and one of the Dakotas would be all you need. But luckily, I do think there are some more teams that would make a little bit of sense, including the San Jose State Spartans. San Jose State has not traditionally a football program. They haven't seen a ton of success, but over the last 3 seasons, they have made a bowl game twice. Brent Brennan obviously is gone. He completely rebuilt the Spartans program, helped take this team to their first 2 bowl games, 3 bowl games actually when you go back to the 2020 season, and he's been really successful for this team. Obviously, he went and took the Arizona job, but early on in this season, San Jose State has had the same success. They're 2-0 to start the year. They have had a really solid start to the season, and I like the idea of getting these small California schools. They did it with Fresno. They did it with San Diego. I think San Jose State makes a ton of sense. They're another program that I think could bring some really interesting things to the conference. They have a really solid defense. And I think, again, you want to build this scrappiness in the conference. I think San Jose State and San Diego State, as well as Fresno, give you the opportunity to do that. So I'm a huge fan of the Spartans. I think this is another team that, when it's all said and done, will be another one of these teams from the Mountain West that gets called up to the Pac-12 because it just makes sense. Another team here is another one that is traditionally not a very good football program, and that is going to be the Nevada Wolfpack. This is a team that hasn't made a bowl game since they were coached by Jay Norvell back in 2021. And when they were coached under Norvell, they made 4 consecutive bowl games. Since then, though, they have yet to have a 500 season, finishing 2-10 in the first 2 seasons with Ken Wilson, and now they are 1-2 to start the Jeff Chody era. This is a solid program, though. I think it's a mountain program, a Mountain West program with some history, with a recognizable logo and team that I think can build into something. When you look at this conference, that's kind of what it's about. Washington State is kind of the forgotten program. Nevada is one of these West Coast teams that has some pieces, but they're not great. I think they make sense to be added, and I think this would be a great addition. And the final team that I like are the Wyoming Cowboys. Wyoming is another team that is not traditionally a fantastic football program, but in the last 3 seasons have made bowl games. I like what this Wyoming team could bring to this conference. They're just traditionally a solid team, middle of the pack team. Under Craig Bowl were fantastic throughout their time with him as their head coach. Obviously now the Jay Sawvell era. Trying to get a little bit into this, but I think Wyoming, UNLV, San Jose State, Nevada, and the 2 Dakota teams would be the perfect additions to a new-look Pac-12, could add some competition, and could make this a really fun conference. That's what I think the Pac-12 is all about. I don't think they're ever going to be viewed as a power conference again, but if you can get an at-large bid from winning the Pac-12, I think that would be super exciting. They've got really good programs here, and I think we could see them develop something really nice here. So those are the teams that I think should be added. But let me know if I missed any teams. Who do you think that the Pac-12 should look to add to their conference? Let me know down in the comment section below. Leave a like, comment down below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Adios.